Hi, it's Carolyn, the Contest Queen, and my class canceled tonight, so I thought I would come on here to TikTok and which way does that go? And I'm editing some files that I found of Helene Hadsel's, and I decided that I'm going to make these notebooks. And I'll show you what I'm scanning. So I have to figure out, she had this book called Toning, and I showed it in the video last night that I did on YouTube and Facebook. And I'm gonna reproduce them for everybody. So I'm scanning them, and then I'm gonna also type them out because this is so old. She did it on a, it's so great. It's so old that it looks like she did it on one of those old-fashioned typewriters, and I don't even know how this was typed up. Some of her stuff looks like it was done on an old IBM typewriter, but this stuff, I don't know. Anyway, I'm just resaving it all, and so I'm going to type it all out so you can read it now, and then I'm going to include a full scan of the little booklet. I just thought it was fun. So if you have any questions about sweepstakes, Helene Hadsel, mindset, anything, let me know. And I'll answer it here. Otherwise, I'm just going to talk mindset and sweepstakes in general. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to save it. I'm saving them all as images in this book called Toning. And I think this is image 14. And I just love it. And I want to win in the lottery. This is a question I get all the time. And actually, Helene had some advice on the lottery. I found there was one thing in one of her books. And then, so in this book, and I'll read it to you. I've heard other lottery specialists give this same advice. And also check out Timothy Schultz on YouTube. He has an entire lottery channel. So here's two things I'm going to give you. I did a video on drawing money to you. So it was manifesting money Helene Hadsel style. And I've done 2 videos on that already. And then I did a video on the lottery. I was also a guest on the Timothy Schultz show. And he's interviewed people who have done visualization and won the lottery. So check him out on winning the lottery. So, and then I did a video on the lottery because she had this in her book. And then when I went to her house in Texas and I got a lot of diskettes and stuff, I found 2 articles, one printed and one on a diskette about her lottery experiences. So first you want to draw money to you. So this was an exercise that she did. I did it. It's a lot of fun and it worked for me. I didn't focus on winning the lottery. I focused on just increasing my income. But you could do it for the lottery. Buy a package of play money from the toy or game department store of a store. Write your name on all the bills. Paste them on a piece of green cardboard. So I got a Bristol board from the dollar store. With a Marks-a-Lot print, my good is at hand and I'm gratefully receiving it now. Money is drawn to me constantly. My money supply is limitless. Read it several times each day and imagine you have a handful of money. Okay, so that's one exercise you can do. The other one is, now this is the first one. The other 2 articles, which I don't have in front of me, if you go to my website, link in bio, I have them on a blog. So you can actually go and read them. And I did it in 3 parts because the articles are so long. It would just have made one crazy long blog. So I have part 1 with the video. And part 2 is with this excerpt. Part 2 is the second article. And part 3 is the third article. And I link them all at the bottom so you can just follow them through. It makes it really easy to read. So what her first impression of the lottery was, now you got to remember, she didn't really play the lottery because Texas didn't have a state lottery until 1992, and she had won all the prizes she ever wanted by the 70s. So she didn't need to win the lottery because, 1, it wasn't available to her, and 2, she'd already had everything she wanted, so she didn't need to play. How about lotteries? That's a question I'm asked quite frequently. Yeah, me too. I don't know. I've never had an opportunity to do research. Texas now has a state lottery. I do have some thoughts about how I would approach that sweepstakes. I would choose the numbers that had personal significance for me. My birth date, house number, or social security number. I would stay with the same numbers and keep giving energy to them by seeing myself being presented with a hefty amount on a check. It would be difficult to specify a certain amount because I understand the jackpot varies. Each state has different systems, and some use 6 numbers, some use 8. If your state lottery numbers are selected on TV, you certainly have an excellent opportunity to play the mind over matter game and mentally see your numbers being selected. The more positive one becomes, the faster the end results are realized. The other interesting person who talks about the lottery is Bashar. You can go and type out Bashar and win lottery in YouTube and watch his video on that. It's kind of interesting. And so that's those are my 2 pieces of advice from Helene on how to win the lottery. I haven't focused on the lottery. I have played it. I've won it once, and I won second prize, which is quite small for getting 5 out of 6 numbers. So yeah, that was quite the thing. So there you go. I hope that advice helps you, and let me know if you have any other questions about winning. Now, the reason I like sweepstakes better than the lottery is because your odds of winning are better and it doesn't cost any money. So it's nice to win without spending any money. So I have a system, and I'm going to go over some of the pointers here. So the first thing is, if you're new to the hobby, get an email address just for entering. And don't use any words like sweeping queen or prize princess or want to win a lot. You know, don't make those any of your social handles. Don't make those any of your emails. Because believe it or not, marketers will go and look at your accounts, and if they think you're a prize pig, they will not award you the prize, and you have no proof that they did that. They are supposed to be completely, what's the word I'm looking for? Unbiased, but it's not true. And I know this because when I first started entering on social media, I had my Contest Queen account, and I would enter all the time using Contest Queen. And when companies first started, like I got on Twitter late, and it was 2009, and I was winning all the time on Twitter. And then over the years, slowly, my wins dried up as the Contest Queen. And my friend Tom, who runs I Win Contests, said to me, you got to stop using your business account for entering. I'm like, I know, but I already have so many accounts. I have 2. I have a marketing business, and I have my sweepstakes business where I teach people how to win. And I'm thinking, I have to set up a 3rd set of accounts. Like, how many accounts do I need? And I kind of knew it, but I didn't want to face it. And I also had a blogger friend tell me that I met at one of the blogging conferences a long time ago. And I'm like, yeah. But I didn't really believe it. I kind of knew it. But then I got on TikTok, and there's giveaways on TikTok. Lots of good giveaways on TikTok. And because you win that, I had a friend last year who won $10,000 on a video contest on TikTok. So I had started entering a bunch using this TikTok account. And there was a couple that didn't even have enough entries. Like, they were giving away 7 prizes of $1,000. I think they had 5 entries. I should have won $1,000. I did not. I thought, they looked at my account. They're like, no way, we're not giving it to her. I'm like, oh my God, that was it. Okay, I'll tell you how to find giveaways on TikTok in a minute. So then I was like, that's it, I'm done. So I set up a personal account. So then I was like, that's it. So I went and separated all my socials. I made personal and business. And the minute I started entering personally, I won. The first giveaway that I entered on TikTok in 2021, I won $1,000. And I was like, yeah. So don't put anything prizy or anything. Just have a random account. post random stuff. So if they go through your feed, they see, I don't know, cooking, gardening, funny things your animals do, funny things your kids say, all kinds of stuff. I do all kinds of stuff. So, okay, I'll answer that question too. But first, giveaways on TikTok. So they're harder to find because you can't just do a hashtag search. So the two ways I find giveaways on TikTok is, one, they're posted on sweepstakes aggregates. So companies, more and more companies have different ways to enter giveaways, because a lot of times when you can win on TikTok, you can enter, like, I won a pack, like a huge box. I thought I just won a couple of bottles. I won like this crazy amount from Curl Keeper. Oh my God. And the stuff is so good. Look at this. I didn't wash my hair this morning. I just used their curl refresh. Nice. This is like the nicest stuff. I won big bottles. I gave one to my mom, like, I guess, yeah, the whole family has curly hair. I've got one for my sister. I gave one to my sister-in-law. Like, it's so nice and it's soft, and it's like, it's probably the best curl product I've ever used, actually. So I'm like, when this runs out, I'm gonna have to buy some. Anyway, so you'll find them on sweepstakes aggregate. So I have a list on my site. And by the way, right now you have to kind of go through the resources and click through to get to these lists. I'm revamping my whole website this year. So it's going to be right off the homepage. I don't know when, but sometime in 2023, because the whole site is being revamped. I launched that site in 2005, and it's been updated 3 times. But this is the biggest change, because we're like taking stuff, like old stuff, off and rejigging how the flow of traffic goes. Like, this is a bigger change. Anyway, the other way you can find TikTok is watch highly used hashtags on people's videos as they go by. So I'm always scanning. When I'm just scanning on the For You page, I'm always seeing the videos that are getting a lot of traction. I think one right now that you'll see, actually, I've got my computer open. I'm going to look it up, because I don't know when the contest closes. You always got to read the rules. That's one of my number 1 tips. So it's, I think it's a TurboTax contest. I think it's a Dance with TurboTax. Let me see here. Let me see if I can find it. Dance contest. Let me put sweepstakes. TurboTax dance. Okay, yeah, here it is. So I just found it. So the dance. Oh, it ended. That's too bad. But it was a hashtag that was. It was hashtag Dance with TurboTax. And so that's why it's important to Google them. Oh, yeah. It's the winner and a friend tagged in the video will each receive $10,000. That's a really good prize. Yeah, it ended. So let me see. I'm on Sweepstakes Fanatics. I just went over to Sweepstakes Fanatics. At 28 winners, you'll get $500, $1,000, or $5,000 cash for them and a friend. And you have to create a happy dance and put it on social media. There's no judge. It was picked randomly. It ended on the 18th. Oh, yeah, that was just a few days ago. And it just says on social media, which means they probably let you post it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, that kind of thing. So let me just do a search on his site for video. So let's see how that goes. Okay, see, Chevrolet Fast Track Your Future Contest, Instagram and TikTok. TurboTax came up, even though it's in the expired results. So let me see this Chevrolet Fast Tax. When does it end? Oh, and it just ended on February 13th. So yeah, you can go search the aggregates for video contests. Let me see if I can find it. Stella Rose, when does it end? Ooh, here's one that's open. Well, Johnny, yeah, we'll see what happens with TikTok. I'm just going to stay here until it disappears. So here's the one that's unlimited entries. It's open to the residents of the United States. If you go to Sweepstakes Fanatics, Search for the Stella Rosa giveaway. 2 winners will get $10,000 each. 6 winners will get $5,000 each. You post a video on Instagram. Oh, that's interesting. How Stella Rosa's been there from the start. It did say TikTok, though. So here's what you do. Here's what I do. I go to view the rules, because you got to read the rules. How many should you enter a day? You mean giveaways or time in a specific sweepstakes? So it started in March. Okay, so 2 entry periods. The first one is, okay, eligibility, United States, how to enter. Been there from use the hashtag every story counts and sweepstakes, and then tag them. And you must have an Instagram account. Let me see. Does it say TikTok? No, he had it as TikTok on the thing. Maybe it's just, so this one you just enter on Instagram. But still good to do a video, and always read the rules. So that one you could win $10,000 by posting on Instagram. Oh, there was Plilk and cookies, Pepsi and milk. I think that one's over. Yeah, that one was last year. It ended just in December. Just start searching on video sweepstakes if you want to do it. Sweepstakes Fanatic has some. There's lots of other aggregates. Yeah, I love the contests that are randomly picked. I don't have enough talent to win the judge ones. Believe it or not, I agree with you. The judge ones are so hard. But here's another tip. Go and search to see who's entering and who your competition is. Because I did one contest and I didn't even think of it till after, and it closed. Then I went and looked, and I'm like, I'm such an idiot. I didn't look at my competition. I totally didn't win, and I can see why. I don't know what I was thinking when I made that video. So how many you should enter a day? Giveaways. Oh, well, it depends on the amount of time you have. So some days when I'm busy, I enter like maybe a handful, and other days I'll sit for 2 hours and enter. But it's consistency is key. It's just like going on a diet or going to the gym. You're going to go to the gym once. Now, it has happened. I do know people that have won big prizes off their first contest. There's a video of me on YouTube interviewing the Sweeping sisters. And what is her name? Why is it escaping me? Andrea is a sweeper. And her sister, she was like, come on, come in, enter this. Come enter this giveaway. It was a mail-in. This was a long time ago. And she's like, her sister's like, all right. Her sister entered it, won a car and a trip the first time she ever entered a sweepstakes. That's pretty rare. I've only heard of that happening 2 times in like the last 20 years I've been doing this as a hobby. So it's not very frequent. But consistency is key to winning. And some years I've had bad years where I hardly won anything. And last year I had a great year. I won 2 trips and a huge TV. Plus a ton of little things. Like a ton. So it's just a matter of, what you're entering and what you're focusing on. Like I know someone that used to focus on video contests, and he would enter like a handful a year, but he'd usually win because he was really good at videos. But then that's all he'd do. And then there's other people that enter like for everything. And then there's some people that like, we have a contest club. One of our members, he's not in the best of health. And so he can't travel. So he doesn't enter any trips, but he loves all the stuff that shows up at his door. And it's so fun. So it just depends on where you're at and what your situation is. But if you can spend a good hour a day entering, totally do it. And if you're sitting there watching TV at night, there's no reason you can't have your laptop or your phone with you and enter sweepstakes. There's no excuse, especially if you're just sitting there watching TV, right? And another key to winning is to be organized. Okay, this is one of the things people do the least. Actually, that was the class that I was teaching tonight that ended up getting canceled through a variety of circumstances. Actually, every single student that was booked tonight, something happened. They're all just going to come to the next one. It's RoboForm 101, and I'm actually interviewing Simon Davis, VP of Cyber Systems, which creates RoboForm, on Thursday. So I'm very excited about that interview. And because I've been using RoboForm for 20 years. So I use it not just as I use it as several ways. One, it's a fantastic form filler. So when you're entering a lot of sweepstakes, I don't rely on autocomplete. I rely on the form filler. And the reason I like using their form filler is because I can also save it as something they call a pass card. So if you fill out a form and then it's got all these weird like radio buttons, or you have to put in a UPC code or something, I don't know, whatever, in the form, you do that. And then you take that and you save it. And then the next time you come to enter, this is mainly for daily giveaways, not single giveaways. You can use it to fill a single giveaway, but then you forget it. Then you save it in your daily, and I have a folder system. This is what I show. And I'm describing it to you now, but it's so hard on this kind of format. It's me just writing it in a book too. But when I take you through in the class and you see step by step what I do, people go, oh my God, I didn't know I could do that. So then I show you how to save it in a foldering system. So you've got your instance, your dailies, your weeklies, how to find them in your area, because you got to enter in concentric circles, right? Think about it. When you're entering giveaways that are in your region, that are only open to your region, the odds of you winning go up. Oh, yeah, RoboForm? Oh, it even has a feature. I can't remember what it's called, but I will highlight, so for example, once a week, I do every radio station in my region to see what new giveaways they have. And I highlight all the radio stations that I've saved in my weekly folder, and I hit go to, and it literally opens all 19 tabs at once. So, yeah, it's crazy. It just opens them all up. It's brilliant. And then I can check all the pages. And so I save, that's how I organize. Now, some people don't. I have had people say, well, I don't want to use a RoboForm. And I'm like, okay, if you have a system that works for you, keep going. You got to make the hobby your own, right? So I just show you my tools and what I like, and I think it works for me. There's lots of people that have other systems. But if if you're struggling to win, then look at somebody who's doing it right. Tom Cavalli's in the States, and he actually wins more than me because I don't live in the US. And even if I did exactly what he did every day, I wouldn't win as much because the opportunities aren't there. Mitch has a question. It says, what does somebody do when someone... And I need the rest of the question, Mitch. I would be happy to answer it. Just type the rest of the question. So, yeah, so it's key to be organized because, and I figured this out when I started entering back in 2001, when I was getting all mixed up. And I have a marketing background. So I basically took my marketing background and applied it to the hobby because sweepstakes is a form of marketing. So I understood it. And actually, that's why I ended up opening... I've done it for so long. I actually opened up a sweepstakes marketing company, and I help companies run their giveaways. Do you always think about winning like the law of attraction? Absolutely. Why do you think I ended up rewriting Helene's book? She actually asked me to do it before she passed away because she didn't have anybody else to do it. And if you don't think you're lucky, and if you don't think or believe you're a winner, you never will be. She even has a story in here. I'll read you the story. It's so good. It totally sums up. Let me see where it is. I think it's further up. Because, of course, once people find out you're a sweeper and you start winning, they all want to know, how do you do it? They always ask me, how do you do it? How do you do it? Oh, I think is it here? Yeah, she had a good story. I gotta find it. Anyway, basically the premise of the story is when this woman found out she would win a lot, she wanted to go to the post office with her. Yeah, I can't. I think I'd start to memorize where these stories are in the book because I read it so many times, but I don't. Anyway, she goes to the post office. Oh, here it is. Don't be like the woman I once had as a neighbor. One evening, she called and asked if she could drive to the post office with me. We talked earlier over the fence, and she knew I was going to make a trip later. She entered contests half-heartedly because she knew I kept winning things. When we reached the post office, she leaned out to deposit her entries in the curb letterbox. As she slipped them in the slot, she turned to me and said, "Well, there goes nothing." I was dumbfounded. She never did win anything while I knew her. Later, she moved out of the neighborhood and took her gloom with her. We all have down periods occasionally, but if it's a constant thing, it really is the pits. If it happens to you, make it a considerable effort to get back in the positive frame of mind. Read something uplifting. Listen to violin music. It's one of the most uplifting, soothing sounds one can experience. Remember, you're in control of your thinking. Change it if it's pulling you down. So when she was mailing out her entries, she would say, now, we don't mail, but you can still do it online. Here goes another winner that will bring me back my end result. I love that. So you can still do it when you click. And it's actually, if you read the book Happy Money by Ken Honda, you'll see he's done a lot of interviews and he always thanks his money. And when he's spending money, he always says to his money, thank you, and come back with all your friends. He appreciates his money for allowing him to make this purchase because it's circular, it's energy. And yeah, it's really good. I hope that answered your question. But yeah, if you don't think you'll win, you won't. Now, Helene did tell me I split my energy. So she had one approach to the hobby, I have another. Her approach was to pick a sweepstakes that she liked and wanted to win that prize, and then she would focus on it and win that one prize. That's not very much fun for me. I like to go through all the different sweepstakes and go, oh, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. And I go through and I'm like, ooh, that would be fun to win. Ooh, that would be cool. I like this. What about that? And I would go through and I enter them all. And then I'm like, I wonder if that's the one I'm going to win. I wonder if that's the one I'm going to win. And then I do win, but I don't win all of them. So she always tells me I'm splitting my energy. And I get that, but that takes the fun out of the hobby for me. So I'm like, I'm going to stick with that. Thank you, Hayden. Yeah, it's good to shine. We all should shine. All boats rise with the tide. And so I love teaching other people how to win because it just makes it more fun. I actually have a group on Facebook called the Good Vibration Sweepstakes Club because what happens is when you get into this hobby and you start winning all the time, people start giving you the stink eye. And so a lot of sweepers don't tell other people that they won, but they're so excited they want to share it with somebody. So I started the Good Vibration Sweepstakes Club so you could post what you won and everyone goes, yay, and just send you good vibes. Or you could post good things that are happening to you. Or if you're down in the dumps, you're like, please send me good vibes. I need some good vibes. And then everyone sends some good vibrations. Kind of like a prayer circle, but for sweepstakes. It's a little funny. But yeah, that's... So those are the things. So let me recap what we've been talking about, especially the people that popped in now. So have an email address just for entering sweepstakes. Be organized. Read the rules. Enter in concentric circles. I have a ton of free resources on YouTube, on my blog, my website. I have 5 steps to begin winning. And I have links to all kinds of resources. And it's going to get better over the year. Like the whole site is going to be, I'm so excited about the revamp. Right? And a wonderful initiative. Happy someone's doing the work. Thanks. I started this because when I started entering sweepstakes back in 2001 as a hobby, there was no resources. You couldn't find anything. Everything was like random happenstance and you couldn't tell the good stuff from the bad stuff. It took me forever to figure it all out. And then, when I did, actually, this is a good story. So this is why you always have to listen. There's a ton of manifestation people here on TikTok. I love it. And you have to listen to all the synchronicities and the clues, and then you have to take inspired action, which is kind of like entering, right? Like Helene had all this advice on how to win, but if she didn't enter a single sweepstakes, she wouldn't have won anything. You have to take the action, right? Like it doesn't. The word action is in the law of attraction. Okay. So, my daughter was 2.5 years old. I ended up being a stay-at-home mom because the company, I got caught in the dot-com crash, and then I got pregnant. No one was hiring me, so I was a stay-at-home mom. And when I thought I was ready to go back to work, I was thinking, what am I going to do? I wasn't sure I wanted to go back to marketing the way I used to because it was long hours. I'm like, I have a little one. We're going to have to get a sitter, all this stuff. So I was humming and hawing what I was going to do. And then we had a winning streak. I won a trip to the US. And then as soon as we got back, my ex won a trip. And then while we were away, my niece won a trip that I had entered in. So it was like boom, boom, boom. Now, while we're in California, that trip was winning a trip to Bob Bloomer's house. Now, he is known as the Surreal Gourmet. So while we're there at his house, he cooked for us. We had wine. Oh my God, it was so much fun. He was so nice. And he stood in the middle of his kitchen at one point and he said, "This is the center of my universe." And I thought, wow, that's kind of strange to tell strangers. And then he said it again, and I thought, that's a message for me. That was my intuition. Then I came back, and we had this huge winning streak. So then I told a girlfriend about this whole thing. Isn't that interesting? And she said, well, what's the center of your universe? And the first thing that popped into my head was contesting. I thought, what am I supposed to do with that? It's like I got a piece to this puzzle, and I have no other pieces. I don't know where it fits. I don't know and I thought, okay, I'm just going to hang on to this piece until I get more of the puzzle. And then I went to a birthday party, my stepmother's birthday party, and one of the guests said to me, well, you should write a book. Because I told him that story, and he said, you should write a book. And I thought, all right. So I started doing some research, and the best piece of advice for anybody who wants to write a book that's nonfiction, because fiction is a totally different animal, write the table of contents and keep writing. So I started doing research, and I interviewed somebody who had written an article in Sweepstakers, and he said, why would you give away all your secrets? And I thought, that was a good question. Why would I give away all my secrets? And then he said to me, so then I took that, and I was going back to the same girlfriends to talk to her about this, and I passed a church. Now, this is not when everyone had cell phones. I wish I'd gone back with a camera and taken a picture, but I didn't. I passed a church, and on the service announcement board, it said, you can't lose helping others win. I thought, oh my gosh, that is a sign for me. Like people say, God, please give me a sign. I literally had a sign from God. Like, you can't lose helping others win. I knew right then I was writing the book. I had no idea what path it was going to take me on, so then I started doing research. And I discovered there was huge differences in the hobby between Canada and the US. Or at least at the time I thought they were huge. Now that I've been doing this for so long, they're not very big. But at the time it was overwhelming. So I wrote this book, You Can't Win If You Don't Enter, the Canadian edition. And then 2 years later, I came out with You Can't Win If You Don't Enter, the American edition. By the way, you can get those both for 99 cents on Kindle. And so I came up with that. And then, so the three differences is a bit of the lingo is different. Americans pay taxes on their winnings. In Canada, we don't. And, the resources are different. I was going to say the third one's good. The resources are different. So, for example, I was talking about sweepstakes fanatics. He's really only good for American sweepers because he doesn't really have many Canadian sweeps. But in Canada, I use contestcanada.net. Red Flag Deals is popular. Contest Girl is actually popular with Americans and Canadians because she has both. So there's lots of different resources there. So then in 2016, I came out with How to Win Cash, Cars, Trips, and More. And I basically took both books and smashed them together and massaged it and made this like This is basically a North American sweepstakes book. That's for everybody. And I'm working on Prizes Everywhere, which is an update, which is woefully overdue. Like, I probably should be writing, not here on TikTok doing live. But I thought I'd pop on because I haven't done a live in a while because I've been so busy. I'm writing several books. I was teaching classes. So things just happen. I'm working on my accounting because, I'm a small business owner and that stuff needs to be done. And then somewhere in there, I have to enter sweepstakes. Right? It's a little bit crazy. So that's how I ended up writing the first book. And then, because I was the contest queen, I had a podcast back in the day before it was cool. And in 2008, I had Helene Hatzel on. Now, everybody had known her book. Now, the book I had read, this was a version I had at the time. This was the 1988 version. And I came out with this book. She had this book. And when I went to visit her, so I had her as a guest on my podcast. And off air, I asked her if I could come visit her. And she said no. And I'm like, all right, I shot my shot, right? Like Hamilton. Give it got one shot or whatever. And 3 days later, she called me back and she said, your guides are so loud, you better come. So while I was there, she asked me to keep up her legacy because I think by then she knew she was near the end of her life. She passed away about 18 months after I visited her. And she knew her grandkids weren't going to do it. So she knew if she didn't pass the torch to somebody, I think that's why my guides were loud, because they're like, you got to get her to do it because otherwise it's going to die with you. So then I went into the hardest part of my life. I got a divorce. We went bankrupt. I nearly lost my business. I lost the house, everything. It was just everything. So it took me 10 years to kind of dig out of that and republish her book. But they're all done now. I've done the Name It and Claim It game. I've done In Contact with Other Realms. I did Confessions of an 83-Year-Old Sage. And I just republished A Man Called Friday, which is a fiction book that she wrote, which is amazing because in her 70s, she took a fiction writing class because she decided she wanted to, keep up. She never stopped writing. Like the last copy of the Name It and Claim It game updated on diskette was in 2010, the year she died. Like she literally kept updating this book till the year she died. Right up until the end. She never stopped. She loved teaching people how to win and better their lives, which I think is amazing. Anyway, okay, so how often do I win something? Well, it depends on how much I'm entering. So right now I'm not entering a lot, but I have won like 5 prizes this month so far. I won tickets to the auto show. Let me just see. I won some, did I put them in the winning folder? I have a wins folder. I won some coffee. I won some, I think I won a mug with that one too. So I won a weekly prize. I won 30 K-Cups from Folgers and, a black canister, which may or may not have coffee in it. So that's what I've won so far. Let me see what else is in the wins folder. I know I got the 4 auto show tickets. Oh, and I won a daily prize in the Snackathon contest. I'm waiting to see if I won a big prize. So that's 4 already. And then, what else did I get? That's it this month so far, just 4, but I haven't been entering a ton because I've been busy. And the month's not over. So there you go. That's what I've won this month so far. And I keep a wins folder, and I should be updating my win spreadsheet, but I'm not. That's not good. Like I won thousands last year because I had the 2 trips, and yeah. Anyway, I've been on for an hour, so I'm going to go. I'll try to do more of these lives, but if you have a sweepstakes question, Ask me on any video because I'll answer it in another video. Or, oh, a Jew contest for kids under, well, I had Sweepstakes Fanatics open. Let me go back to them. Stakes. Okay, let's go look. Because there are kids contests. I used to enter my daughter. My daughter used to enter all the time. Like Nickelodeon and who used to have all the kids contests? It was all the, let me just type in kids. Oh, baby and kids sweepstakes. Is it for kids or Crayola? It's for teachers. Trampoline giveaway. Huggies for a year. No, hang on. Let me see. Maybe we should just do like the kids channels. Okay, let me see if I can go. See, one of the things is, this is one of the things is I used to do is I used to save all the, oh, right, okay, YTV. Oh, it's gone to YTV. I don't know if that's it anymore. And they have no contests on the site. But it's Course Entertainment, which I think is Canadian. What about the Disney Channel? Local giveaways will have some for kids, especially at things like Easter. Disney Channel. You'll find like, yeah, so go and look for the trampoline sweepstakes. I don't know if they can enter. Okay, Disney Channel. Oh, it's because I live in Canada, it's pulling up disneychannel.ca. Okay, mousesavers.com lists all the Disney sweepstakes. Okay, so this one, okay, so here's one. It's for 21 and older. You can enter, but it's the Cinemark Super Family Sweepstakes. Win a grand prize of a 4-night cruise for 4 people on the Disney Wish. Prize includes airfare to Orlando. Oh my God, that would be amazing. Must be 21 old to enter. Void in Alaska and Hawaii. Again, this is why I always tell people to watch the official rules. This is on a website called Mouse Savers, and they have a whole page on sweepstakes and contests. That's all the whole page is for. The Disney 100 Encanto sweepstakes, that expired. Oh, it expires. Yeah, you have to travel this year. Win a trip for 4 to join Adventures by Disney group tour. 25 different destinations available. Orlando Getaway, 21. Yeah, all these seems you have to. Oh, here's one to. Oh, I entered that one already. Oh, there's a Disney Insiders Runaway Railway sweepstakes. 3-night trip for 4 to Anaheim. Includes airfare, ground transfers, Disneyland tickets. Yeah, so again, you have to be age of majority. Just start looking on your local things. They would have that. Yeah, and there's a whole section. Some websites, like if you go to now, once you get back into it, I highly recommend you get a paid site because you're going to get access to more things. Sweep Sheet has paid, Sweepstakes Advantage has paid, and the big one of all that has the best is I Win contests. Yeah, well, Disney's where it's at, right? Tom won 2 Disney cruises last year, but I think see, that's the other thing. Some part of it is location. He lives in Florida, 40 minutes from Disney. So there's a lot of sweepstakes that are just Florida only. Again, what I said about regional and concentric circles. One of them, he won from a local TV station. Well, I don't have access to that, you know. So sometimes it depends on where you live, what you have access to. Like I have friends that live near New York. They're winning Broadway tickets all the time because guess what? They live near Broadway and they can go and they have access to those tickets, right? Like I don't. But then I have friends that are in LA and they win tickets to movie premieres because the big movie premieres are usually in LA. So again, it's regional, right? You know, you have to take that into consideration. And then you see, I have one sweepy friend, she's in Alaska. So many of the sweepstakes exclude Alaska because she's far. So you have to, again, reading the rules is very important. We aren't first in Galveston and Disney Cruise. Oh, sails out of port there. So start looking. Like literally type into Google, Disney Cruise Line, sweepstakes, Galveston. See what pops up. You'd be amazed. And then when you start reading rules, right, there's a clause. Let me see if I can find it in this set of rules. It just happens to be up because I was looking at the Disney one to talk to you guys about it. Where's the age? General terms and conditions. It usually has the age in here, like age of majority or oh, this is an interesting one. It says if an entrant is a minor, the parent or guardian has to participate. But this one's for movie insiders. And then there's a no purchase entry option. So you can just enter and then you can use points. And then there's a free alternative method of entry. You can mail in a 3.5 by 5 card and proper postage to the website. And I might, or to the agency running the sweepstakes, I might do a couple of those just because, because you never know what you're going to win. But that's why it's really important to read the rules. What you're looking for. Okay, so before I sign off, here's what you guys have to look for in rules. First of all, eligibility. Are you eligible to enter? Is it open to your country? Are you of age? Like a lot of the liquor ones, like cruises, because there's liquor on board and stuff, so they make it 21 for entry. That's why. So, if you're 20 and you're entering, you can't enter those. So you have to read. And do you live in the area? If you're in Alaska, you might not be able to enter. You know what I mean? You have to read the rules. So are you eligible to enter? When does it start and when does it end? Because, like, for example, I spotted a TikTok video contest Friday morning, and I sent it to Tom, and I said, have you entered this one? Because I wasn't eligible to enter, but he was. And oh no, it was Monday morning when everything was closed because both countries had a holiday on Monday. So everything's closed. And you needed the product in the shot. And I said, it closes at midnight. And he goes, oh, this is a good one. I missed it. But he didn't have enough time to go and get the product to be in the video. So he was out. So that's why it's important to see when do they start and what do you need for it. So what does it end? And then how do you enter? How do you enter? So that, you might have to do a video on Instagram or TikTok, take a picture, create a recipe, enter just a form. And then sometimes they want you to buy something. So I entered. So I like to do the paid ones, so to speak, because that way I get entries. And sometimes it's cheaper than mailing in. So for example, right now where I live, there's one for Reese's, and you buy 2 chocolate bars on a receipt, and you take a picture of the receipt and you send it in. You can have up to 4 receipts per person. So I maxed out mine, and then I start to do George, my boyfriend's. And we've won sometimes doing that tactic. Like I won a $50 NBA gift card last time they ran a similar giveaway. And then I bought him and his son shirts from the NBA store when they had a sale, and they both got them at Christmas. Anyway, so sometimes the free mail-in option, it's ridiculous. By the time you pay for the stamp and the envelope and stuff and take your time and blah, blah, blah. Well, this way I'm already out shopping. I buy the chocolate bars at the dollar store. Now I've spent less than postage, and I have the chocolate. Just saying, right? So you have to watch what it is. But there's one that I just did. You buy some products from like Ritz and Oreo and that. So we needed, who doesn't need cookies? So I bought some cookies. Yeah, girlfriend of the year. Oh, you don't see it on my Instagram. Oh, I did a TikTok on it. Go back and look at my TikTok after I get off. Go find the video of the TV that I won that was so big we couldn't put it in the house. We had to put it in the garage. It is massive. It is 100 inches. It is huge. Anyway, I was like, how did I win this? Like, it's crazy big. Yeah, someone said take a picture, do a video with it on, but my fear was if there was anything copyrighted on the screen when I was filming, I would get in trouble. Anyway, I was hoping for a third trip, but I got a TV instead. Anyway, now he's the envy of all the guys because every time there's like a big hockey game or football game or something, they're out in the garage. And it's a big man cave. Like he built this as a workshop because he's a contractor. It was his dream garage, and he does woodworking and, you know, all the manny stuff that I'm completely not handy at. I do all the other stuff. I'm techie. He has problems with this computer. I get called. I don't understand how to do this with my phone. I get called. So I do all that stuff. And I'm also a good cook. So anyway, yeah, so you have to read the other ways. Oh, okay. So Dina, sorry. Oh my gosh, this cream on cream printing is so hard to read. I will answer your question in a second. So then I bought 2 packages of Oreo cookies and some Ritz crackers, which we eat and need and use. And then I submitted the receipt and I won a weekly prize. And then we'll see if I win the grand prize, which is another TV. But then I'll go into the rules and read what the no purchase entry option is, because I don't want to be buying cookies all the time. Like, you should only eat so many cookies. And they are more than postage. So then I will send in a few no purchase entries. So I balance it out, right? Did you enter the HGV Dream House this year? No, because I'm not eligible to enter, which is what I was just talking about. However, if I was, I would be entering every day. Now, they get literally, I think the last time I heard the number, and it may be higher now, was 165 million entries for the giveaway. But someone has to win. So, could be you. Do it. So many scams out there. How do you know? Okay, this is where, again, reading the rules is so important. So there's, first of all, some scams are so easy to spot. Like when you start entering Instagram giveaways, there's like bots out there, and you'll see the second you enter a giveaway, you'll get a message or somebody following you with almost the same handle as the sponsor that you just entered. And then you'll get like this message or DM request. Hey, you won. And they'll do all these emojis and you got to click here and you got to pay this and give us your credit card. I'm like, no. So fake. Then there's, the worse than the lottery is the Publishers Clearinghouse Sweepstakes. You have one in, I thought it was 1.2 billion chance of winning, but I think I reread the article I had and it's actually 6.2 or something insane billion chance of winning. Your odds of winning the Powerball are something like 1 in 325 million. So you have a far better chance of winning the Powerball than the Publishers Clearinghouse. Don't even waste your time. Okay, so the other way you can tell scams is you read the rules. First of all, scams won't have proper rules. And once you get used to entering sweepstakes and reading rules all the time, you can get better at spotting them. It's like anything. The more you do it, the better you get. So you're looking for all the stuff. And then it's also like, this one's put on by Disney. The website is DisneyMoviesInsiders.com. Probably pretty legit, right? Like, that's a legitimate site. It's not going to be a fake giveaway. That's why I highly recommend using a sweepstakes aggregate like iWin Contest, Sweepstakes Fanatics, Sweep Sheet, Sweepstakes Today. I don't know, pick them. I have a whole list on my website. Go and find one you like. They're all different formats. So go poke around. And they do a lot of the pre-vetting because their business model relies on the legitimacy of the giveaways. So they're not going to put up anything fake. Because some of them make their money. Now, nobody's getting rich off of doing this, but it costs money to be on the internet. Like, I have to pay web hosting. I have to pay a mail server. I have to pay a webmaster. I have to, I support my business by selling books and teaching classes. And then I also have a marketing business, and I have sweepstakes marketing clients, and I promote their giveaways and do stuff like that. So that's where I get, oh, hi from Greenland. I don't even know if they have giveaways in Greenland. And I'm very sad because the largest sweepstakes, international sweepstakes aggregate, wasn't able to monetize, and he had to shut his site. And this is why I tell people you have to support the sites you got to visit so that they make money on the Google ads, or they have subscribers, because they have expenses to pay. It's just the cost of, and if they can't make money, they'll just close it. Nobody's expecting to get wealthy, but they need to survive and be sustainable, right? Like, and they're so inexpensive. Like, I think Sweepsheet is $30 for 3 months just to try it. And it's so inexpensive. Like, one win will pay for it. Like, I won coffee. Coffee is so expensive right now, right? Like, so I won coffee. So I think that's $10 for the 30 cups, or no, is it $12? So maybe it's like $15 worth. So if I won $15 worth of coffee, I've already paid for 1 month's worth of subscription. I've already covered this month's worth of subscription with one win. To me, it's a no-brainer. And the amount of time you will save using a subscription service is phenomenal. One of the keys to winning is to enter the most amount of sweepstakes in the least amount of time. That's why being organized is key, because if you only have minimal time, I have one folder I call it the top 10, even though there's way more than 10 in it. And it's the ones that I really want to win. So if I have very little time to enter today, those are the only ones I'm going to enter. Because it takes just as much time to win a car as it does a gift basket or a small gift card. So if you only have 20 minutes to enter today, 10 minutes to enter today, you're going to want to make sure you hit that car sweepstakes, the trip sweepstakes, the cash sweepstakes, whatever it is you want to win, or your dream kitchen giveaway or whatever. What do all the subscriptions offer? Do they enter for you? No. What they do is they, first of all, they usually have more exclusive sweepstakes. Okay, so if you go, for example, I did a TikTok on Sweepstakes Advantage because Kate, she's on here. She's so fun. I got to get her on my show sometime with the Contest Queen. I love doing a sweepers chat. She wins all the time on Instagram. She loves Sweepstakes Advantage, and she pays for Sweepstakes Plus because it's so funny. She did a video, and somebody asked her, what's the difference between Sweepstakes Advantage and Sweepstakes Plus? And she goes, I don't really know. And I go, I can answer this, because I had Ken Carlos, who owns Sweepstakes Advantage and Sweepstakes Plus, on my show with the Contest Queen. You can go watch that video on YouTube or Facebook. He's so fun. Loved him. Anyway, he is, he told me, he gave me the list. So you get this many features with just Sweepstakes Advantage, but if you want all these features, they're in Sweepstakes Plus. So you get a lot more access to giveaways. Like, I think all the social sweepstakes are behind the paywall. And that's how they can afford to stay in business and mail things out and keep the site up to date and current and, spam free and all that stuff. So that's one thing you get. A different one, like Sweepsheet, is I ended up having 2 interviews because we had so many questions for Christy. At Sweepsheet, it's the oldest sweepstakes newsletter, but I call it Not Your Grandma's Newsletter because it used to be just literally a mailed out newsletter, like something like Helene used to do. It would come in the mail like this. Like so many sheets, folded up in a number 10 envelope. It'd show up at your house, and you'd go and you'd highlight and you'd fill out your 3x5 and mail them out. That was the day. It's 33 years old this year. And slowly over time, it's become more digital. So it's completely paid. but it's so inexpensive. And then they have other things there that you don't get on other sites. So they have something called Conversation Corner, where you can chit chat with other sweepstakers. You have a question, you find a set of rules. You're like, I don't understand this. Does anybody else understand it? So you go and you can put it in Conversation Corner. You can say, hey, I found this sweepstakes. I'm having trouble with these rules. Can anybody help me? And people will help each other out. All boats rise with the tide. You'd think, why are other sweepstakers going to help me win? Because then they don't win. No, companies spend literally billions. I'm talking billions of dollars running giveaways on, and so there's so many prizes to be won. Everyone has a chance. So everybody helps everybody. All boats rise with the tide. So there's Conversation Corner in Sweepsheet. And then they have something like I think she calls it a hot flash, because it was all women. It's a women-owned business all along. And I think they're getting older and they call it a hot flash, kind of like, and a quickie, a flash, a giveaway flash, something that'll come out. It's got a very short entry period. You'll get an exclusive email. Boom. Hey, this ends in 24 hours. Everybody get in on it right away now. So you'll get that kind of thing. So those are the things you get by paying for a site. Tom at iWin has a Discord group. He does Discord, and they share like the codes for all the radio contests. So there's all different, each site has its own benefits of being a subscriber. So that's why I tell people, go and poke around my site and find the aggregate that you like. And that's when you're gonna win. Or even try, like if you're not sure, buy 3 months at Sweepsheet and then buy a few months at Sweepstakes Advantage, or buy and play around and see. It's not a lot of money for the hobby. Trust me, you are going to win so much more than what you spend. You're going to be amazed. Plus, it's going to save you time. You're not hunting everywhere for giveaways. Some of them, like Sweepsheet, and I think Sweepstakes Advantage does this. I think Sweepstakes Today even does it. They allow you to save the ones you like in your favorites. It's another way to be organized. So you don't have to use your browser or RoboForm. I personally like RoboForm, but that's my bias. Again, you have to make the hobby your own. So anyway, it's getting late and I should wrap this up here in my office. I was supposed to be teaching a class, but it got canceled. I thought I'd come teach on TikTok because that's what I love to do, is help people win. And if you have any questions, again, ask me on a video. You can even email questions@contestqueen.com. And I do a sweepstakes Q&A every month, the last Monday of the month, if calendar permitting, because sometimes it's a holiday or something. Then I move it a day. But generally the last Monday of the month, I do a live sweepstakes Q&A on Facebook and YouTube, and you can find me there. But I'm always teaching people how to win and have fun and have a good mindset, a winning mindset, because you have to really, you got to feel it here. I'm a winner. And then you'll win. So anyway, good night. And I'll see you in the next live.